Hello guys. So for the last day of Coalition Week, I want to take a look at the data surrounding the preferred makeup of the various parties that could be in coalition after the 2024 national elections. The data that we're going to be looking at, as with every video this week, comes from the Social Research Foundation's July 2022 survey of 3,204 registered voters with a margin of error of 1.7%. So the question we're going to be looking at is, which arrangements of parties would you prefer to see if a coalition had to be formed at a national level? The options are ANC-DA and EFF, ANC and EFF, ANC and DA, DA and EFF, none, or another set of parties. So to make this simpler and more digestible, I'm not going to be looking at all of the numbers surrounding this question, but focusing in on some interesting points of analysis within the data. So the first point we're going to be looking at is what percentage of voters would prefer to see the ANC in some form or another as a part of a coalition on the national level. And 65.2% of voters said that they would prefer to see the ANC involved in the coalition on the national level. That is with the DA and EFF, just the EFF, or the DA. When looking at the DA, about 57% of voters said that they would prefer to see the DA involved in a coalition on the national level in some sort of configuration, be it with the ANC and EFF, just the ANC, or just the EFF. Finally, when looking at the EFF's popularity, about 35% of voters would like to see the EFF involved to some degree in the coalitions on the national level. The most important piece of data that has been highlighted by a couple of the charts in this video is that the ANC and DA coalition is the single most popular coalition formation out of the data. It's more popular than any coalition involving the EFF, and it is even more popular than the coalition formation of none or another set of parties that aren't the DA, ANC and EFF. What this seems to point to is that South African voters would like to see the main opposition party and the government work together to forward the national interest. This is probably because it is very worrying for voters to see the ANC and the kind of ANC style of governance and policy making be fully replaced by the DA and a DA-led opposition bloc, but they would like to see the current governance style of the ANC also be moderated by the DA. I think that this finding is very similar to the finding that I discussed earlier this week about the overwhelming majority of South African voters who would like to see their parties putting the national interest first when it comes to making a grand coalition work. Voters are fed up with the current party-centric focus on politics in South Africa, and they would like to see more unity across the board from all of the parties in South Africa, from both the opposition side and the government side.